acting as a proxy for Putin by Tom Nichols. Donald Trump said on the campaign trail that he would make peace between Ukraine and Russia in a day. 3 months later, he's behind schedule, and his plan now is to end the fighting quickly by selling out Ukraine and its people to Russian President Vladimir Putin. The proposal that Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, and Secretary of State Marco Rubio are pushing is not a framework for peace, but a rich and bloody reward to Moscow for 3 years of aggression and war crimes. The Russians might do some reformative capital, but the Americans are awfully American to dream of leading. If Trump has his way, Washington will lift sanctions against Russia. Both sides will accept a ceasefire in place, leaving Russian troops on unconquered Ukrainian territory. And the United States will agree to recognize Crimea as part of Russia, leaving the Kremlin with full ownership of previously conquered territory. For this, Ukraine gets basically nothing except a vaporous security guarantee from an American president who has made clear his hostility to Ukraine and its leaders. An animus that became especially clear when Trump and Vance ambushed Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky during a White House meeting. The Trump peace plan is no such thing. It is an instrument of surrender, and the Ukrainians are unlikely to accept it. Trump's proposal would functionally destroy Ukraine, which would limp away from Putin as a vulnerable rough state, shorn of some 20% of its territory and millions of its citizens. It would cede control over its foreign policy by promising never to join NATO, an ironic Russian issue, given how starkly Putin's invasion has reminded the world why alliances such as NATO must continue to exist. But NATO membership is a distant issue compared to the immediate problem. If Kyiv agrees to Trump's proposal, whatever is left of the Ukrainian states will soon be an easy target for the Kremlin. Once the Russian economy recovers and Russia's forces catch their breath, Putin will finish the job of conquering Ukraine with even greater vengeance and rivals. Time and space are on Moscow's side, and Trump intends to give Putin plenty of both. The Americans have threatened to walk away from the process if either side refuses Trump's deal, but no one will believe this is even a token attempt to pressure Moscow. The White House is aiming its rhetorical fire squarely at Zelensky. Earlier today, Trump ranted at Zelensky's truth social media platform, telling the Ukrainian president that he can have peace, or he can fight for another 3 years before losing the whole country. We are very close to a deal where the man with no cards to play should now finally get it done. Zelensky, for his part, continues to insist on an immediate, full, and unconditional ceasefire before he agrees to further negotiations, a position Trump will likely use as a pretext for abandoning further talks. Vance, meanwhile, has adopted a classic position of moral equivalence, as if the people shooting at one another and their reasons for fighting are indistinguishable. The only way to really stop the killing, he said in India today, is for the armies to both put down their weapons, to freeze this thing, and to get on with the business of actually building a better Russia and a better Ukraine. The vice president might just be told Trump's line, but if his previous statements on international affairs are a guide, he really does seem to have a dismally simplistic understanding of geopolitics. He showcased his strategic shallowness during his embarrassing speech in Munich last February, when he scolded America's allies about their domestic politics, as if the Europeans were merely a collection of unimportant U.S. congressional delegations. We need not invoke World War II comparisons to recognize the moral and political vacuity of the Trump-Vance position. Instead, imagine intervening in other wars of aggression, such as the Korean War of 1950, and telling the embattled Southern forces after Pyongyang's massive invasion that both sides need to put down their weapons and build a better North and South Korea. Or perhaps after Iraq attempted to erase Kuwait from the map in 1990, America and the United Nations should have told the states of the Persian Gulf that sometimes countries just disappear, and that both Saddam Hussein's army and what was left of Kuwait's forces needed to just put their guns in. Trump is not a fair broker. He is acting as a de facto Russian ally and making demands as Moscow's proxy. Perhaps Europe and other nations will be able to fill the void left by American cowardice. But no one should blame the Ukrainians if they refuse to bow to Washington's demand that they accept grim destiny as Moscow's newest serfs.